Hypomobility versus hypermobility. Does it change the way you need to work out? Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Colby, Doctor of Physical Therapy. Mobility is usually a spectrum. You can fall anywhere from very hypomobile, meaning your joints and soft tissues don't like to move a lot, or you can fall very hypermobile, which means they move excessively. But it's important to know which side you fall on because it does change the approach you should be taking to the gym. For example, hypomobility needs a lot more mobility exercises. Hypermobility needs a lot more stability exercises. As a blanket statement here, I want to remind you, because it's a spectrum, even if you're really high on one of those sides, it doesn't mean that you'll never do the opposite for yourself. As a general guide, hyper, stability, hypomobility. So I'm going to take you through a leg day workout and show you the differences between the two. They're very similar, just some modifications to change the focus. For this first exercise, we're going to get external rotation and abduction activated and fired up. For both sides, you're doing side plank clams, but if you're hypomobile, each rep, you're pushing into your end range as hard as you can for about 2 to 3 seconds and coming down, and you're pumping in and out of that for 10 to 15 reps. If you're hypermobile, what you can do is take a band, put it around your knees, go up into the side plank, go up into the end range and hold there for 5 full seconds, then come down with everything. And you're repeating that for 10 reps. So already you can see these are very similar, but the intention is different. Next, we're moving on to internal rotation. If I'm hypomobile, I can do a band mobilization like this, where I'm passively moving in and out of that internal rotation range with a distraction on the hip to help me achieve that range of motion. If I'm hypermobile, that is not something I would want to do. Instead, I can do a side plank reverse clam with a band around the ankles, holding in that end range like we did for the previous exercise. Next, for glute activation and hip extension. If you're hypomobile, you can do this band mobilization with activation. I like this one a lot because you're activating the glute musculature while getting that distraction to give you more range. On the flip side, we want stability, not new range of motion. So lay on your back, put a band around your knees, one leg's out. You're coming up and doing a single leg bridge with an adduction band hold at the end range. Holding for 5 seconds and coming down. Both of those you would do 10 reps on each side. Last exercise for both sides. If you're hypomobile, we're going to clear up any more mobility issues with the lateral hip shift with a kettlebell. This is all about going into that range, activating, holding for 5 to 10 seconds, and coming out of it. About 6 to 8 reps on both sides. That's really going to open up the hips. If you're hypermobile, we're going to hit those glute med one more time, which is the biggest stabilizing muscle you have in your hips. You do a full side plank with the top leg raised up, holding in that position 10 seconds, 5 to 6 reps on both sides. That whole sequence for both sides probably takes about 5 minutes max. On the hypomobile side, you've gained a lot of range of motion and mobility to now use in your lifts. On the hypermobile side, you've gained a lot of stability to use in your lifts to make sure you're staying safe. And that's it from me, guys. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, I would love it if you would subscribe. It helps my video get out to more people like you who might be looking for some tips and advice with exercise. If you're not sure if you're hypomobile or hypermobile, I have videos on that subject. I'll link them over here so you can go watch those. I'll see you over there.